So on Monday, June 9th of this year, the Social Security and Medicare trustees released their 2026 reports. The headlines read with mainly one number, about a 22% cut in scheduled old age and survivors insurance around 2032. End of story. Except it isn't. Because buried in those 500 pages are 5 things the headlines missed. And one of them is the kind of math that no politician can fix. If you're inside 10 years of retirement, here are 5 signs that things have shifted significantly and why they matter for your retirement. Now, sign 1. There's a procedure on the books. It's called the Medicare funding warning. Every year, the Medicare trustees check one number. How much of Medicare's bills are getting paid from general tax revenue? If that share is on track to cross 45% within 7 years, they have to issue a formal warning. That's where the teeth end. When the warning fires, the procedure calls for 2 things. The president submits legislation to Congress, and Congress puts that legislation on a fast track for consideration. Not for passage, just for consideration. That distinction is the whole story, because the warning fired again this year, making it the 9th consecutive formal warning. 9 years, same warning, same result. The funding problem it warns us about, still not fixed. Now, that's not a partisan observation, that's the report. So if your retirement plan assumes Congress acts on this before 2032, I want you to ask yourself one question. What's the track record? 9 warnings in 9 years isn't a forecast, it's a pattern. Now, sign 2. Here's the sentence the headline skipped. The 75-year shortfall in Social Security just got 16% worse. In 12 months, one report to the next. Last year, the gap was 3.82% of payroll. This year, it's 4.42. Now, here's the part that nobody's really talking about. Most of that worsening didn't come from politics, not a new law, not a court ruling. It came from 2 updated assumptions: the birth rate and immigration. The trustees lowered their long-term birth rate assumption from 1.9 children per woman to 1.75. They also lowered their immigration projections. That's it. Those 2 changes alone account for nearly 3/4 of the worsening. For nearly 90 years, the system has worked the same way. Younger workers pay in, older retirees pull out. The structure depends on having enough workers to support each retiree. When you have fewer babies and less immigration, you have fewer younger workers. Now the math takes over from there. And here's why this matters more than any other number in this report. You cannot legislate more 25-year-olds into existence by 2032. Congress doesn't have that power. In fact, nobody does. This is the math no politician can fix, because the people who would fix it do not exist yet. So, sign 3. You've heard the headline. Social Security runs out reserves in 2032. Benefits get cut by 22%. Now that's 78 cents on the dollar. Here's what almost nobody is saying. The 78 isn't where it stops. It's where it starts. Now, Table 2, page 2 of this report lays it out. The Social Security retirement fund's share of payable benefits, unfortunately, keep falling. 78% at depletion in 2032, then down, down, and down. Under current law, by 2100, it's projected at 62 cents on the dollar. Now, I know what you're thinking. I'm not going to be alive at 2100. Yeah, of course, that's fair. But this matters in a way that really most people miss. if you're 60 today, you might still be alive by 2055, your spouse 2060, your kids, the ones whose plans you might be helping with, they're staring down a benefit curve that ends at nearly 62 cents. If your retirement plan models the 22% cut as a one-time event, like falling off a cliff and landing on a ledge, that's not what the report says. The report says it's a slope. Keeps falling. 78% or 78 cents is not a floor. It's a slope. Slide 4. Here's the timing nobody's circling on a calendar. Social Security's retirement fund runs out of reserves in the fourth quarter of 2032. Medicare's hospital trust fund, which pays for your Part A hospital coverage, runs out in the second quarter 2033. 6 months apart. 2 depletion dates. 2 systems. 1 household budget. When that Medicare fund runs dry, the CMS trustees say the program could only pay 89% of scheduled costs. The other 11% comes out of provider payments. In plain English, the Medicare trustees review Medicare's finances each year and oversee the annual Medicare trustees report. So what does this really mean? It means hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, home health agencies, hospice, they get paid 11% less than what they're billed. What that means for your specific Medicare coverage isn't in the report. The report just confirms the 2 shocks that land together. If your retirement income plan treats Social Security risk and Medicare risk like they live on separate planets, they don't. They share a calendar. 6 months, 2 systems, 1 retirement. Now, sign number 5. This is the one already happening to you. You just don't see it. Here's the rule. Up to 85% of your Social Security check becomes taxable once your retirement income crosses $34,000 for a single or $44,000 for a married couple filing jointly. Now look at those thresholds again. $34,000, $44,000. When were they set? 1993. And here's a line straight from the trustees report. Those thresholds have never been indexed for inflation. Now run the math. 34,000 in 1993? If it simply kept pace with normal inflation, would be roughly about 76,000 today. Instead, it's still 34,000. The same number on paper, less than half of the real purchasing power. Well, of course, what does that mean for you? It means every year you live, more of your Social Security check crosses that line and becomes taxable. Not because Congress passed a new tax, not because anyone voted on it, because Congress decided in 1993 not to do something, and has decided every year since not to fix it. It's a silent cut. The headline cut is coming in 2032. The silent cut has been happening every year for 33 years. It's already in your future paycheck. You just haven't read the receipt yet. So, what do? Here's the part most people get wrong. You don't react to this by panicking. You don't pull everything out of equities. You don't claim Social Security at 62 out of fear. What you do is run a stress test. If your plan is built on one assumption, that current benefits at current levels continue indefinitely. That's no longer the most likely outcome. The 2026 trustees reports lay out that math. So you build 3 scenarios. Scenario 1, everything holds. Congress acts, benefits stay where they are, your existing plan continues. Scenario 2, the headline cut hits. 22% reduction in 2032 or 2034 stays there. What does your plan look like? Scenario 3, the slope plays out. Cuts start at 22%, drifts toward 48 over time. Tax thresholds keep eating your purchasing power. What does your plan look like then? If your plan only survives scenario 1, you don't have a retirement plan. You have a bet. Now, I'm not telling you Social Security is collapsing tomorrow. I'm not telling you to panic. I'm not telling you to claim a right. I'm telling you the trustees themselves laid out 5 things on Monday that changed the math on most retirement plans. And almost nobody is talking about them. The system is being held together really by a phrase. Congress will probably act. But probably act isn't a forecast. It's a hope. If you're inside 10 years of retirement and you haven't stress tested your plan against the actual numbers, not the headlines, not the actual report, that's the work to do next. If you have any questions between now and then, feel free to schedule your retirement resilience assessment call. Until then,